Hey everyone, it's Chris here from Everyday Survival Gear, and today I'll bring you the Thorfire TD26. It's basically a 1000 lumen, 100 meter waterproof dive light. Alright guys, this is going to be a standard review of me goofing around in my yard, just so you guys can get a gauge of how this performs against other lights. And then I'm going to make another video of this light being used underwater. I don't dive. Not that I can't, but I don't have all the gear. But I can go free diving and snorkeling, which I'm going to plan and do at night. But I was going to go today, but as you can see, it's pretty dull and grey. But this lighting works out better for my camera now anyway. I don't look like Little Red Rosie. For some reason, it makes me look like that now. Yeah, so I could wing it and go now, but I don't know. I'm getting a bit old. I'm getting a bit soft in my older age of 30. If I'm already like this now, I don't want to say what I'm like when I'm 50. Alright, so yeah, so as I was saying, oh, and one other thing, that cut there is what caused this scratch here. I took off a whole bunch of anodizing from this light because I wanted to get underneath a waterfall. So I have done some testing on this light. I put it underneath a waterfall, but when I was walking there, I slipped. I didn't fall on my ass. I fell like this way. So you can see there, it's pretty good now. That's like a week later, and I cut the side of my leg and whatnot. Hopefully I don't like drop it. I wonder how much water pressure about there is here, if it's gonna like blow away. Yay, cool. Alright, so basically I'll just run through the specs. It's got 4 modes, low, medium, high, and then turbo. The low mode is 30 lumens for 48 hours. Medium mode is 200 lumens for 2 hours and 45 minutes. High mode 500 lumens for 1 hour and 25 minutes. Turbo 1000 lumens for 45 minutes. I'm not sure why they only rate it for 45 minutes at 1000 lumens. Thorfire give you the 26650 cell, which is 5000 milliamps rated. Basically you should get longer than that. I reckon you'll probably get an hour and 20. That might be another test that I do soon, but maybe because it's a very neutral tint, which is what I should add. It's a Cree XPL, but a very neutral tint one, so maybe they had to increase the amperage just so you can get that 1000 lumens, because they might have given you a little bit under, but 1000 lumens is still really bright. Distance 350 meters max distance, which from where I was at the waterfall when I was leaving, I can tell you it does shine far. It's really good. I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't get what I wanted there, but well. So 9800 CD max, so that's just the distance again. Impact resistant to 1 meter, which that was a 2 meter fall almost from where I was, because I was holding the camera here, doing one of those ones, and I slipped and went bang. So that's pretty much why my one ended out a tad damaged. Not actually too bad. That part there, like, fair enough, but you can see the green stuff in there. There's like algae in there from where I went smack. So that was my bad, on my fault. Waterproof, it says IPX8 to 100 meters. Hopefully I can free dive to about 10 meters, or maybe, I'll be honest, 7 meters I'm hoping for, before I run out of breath and then die. But we'll see how I go. So as I was saying, it uses a Cree XPL, a very neutral tint, probably under 5k actually. I'm not completely sure, maybe 48, 46k. I could be wrong, it could be just neutral. It does look a little bit more yellow, but I'll show you guys when we go outside soon. Diving lights I don't know that much about. I realize it's got a magnetic switch. So on, and you push again, and push again. So you can hear it clicking. and then when you want to turn it off, you push and hold to turn off. So the switch is recessed out like this, like it's pretty high. That's pretty much so when you are diving, you got gloves on, you know, you can push it on and then it goes on like straight away. The light only comes apart in one spot, which is also really good, because that means there's less chance of getting water in there. Double O-rings, really thick double O-rings, and the threads are also cut pretty thick, so those threads should also help keep out water. You can see how deep down the battery tube goes. Gets like really deep in there. Overall, the light is pretty heavy. They said 268 grams, if I remember correct. That's without the battery, so it is really heavy. But obviously, it's built very solid to go diving with. Really thick lens. You can see how thick that lens is. I'm not sure what I have to talk about with a diving light. Being so heavy, even on land, it doesn't get hot at all. I was using it at the waterfall. I did have it in the water, but obviously I was using it just to mark around with too. I didn't get hot once, but you know, it is like pretty thick, 268 grams. So its overall length is 148 millimeters, 14.8 centimeters. I don't know what that is in inches. Body is 35 millimeters in width. Head is 50 millimeters in diameter. So you can see it is a pretty big head, but it's also super thick. So that's pretty much part of the reason why the head is so wide. And the battery tube is really wide, but it does fit the 26650 in there too. As usual, made out of aircraft grade alloy. Aircraft grade alloy. That's how I said it for some reason. I do not know why. And I would also state that this is hard anodizing type 3. I can tell by it is pretty dark. Basically, I'll show you now what the light came with, and I'll show you around the light, and then we'll go outside. Alright, I painted my desk, so hopefully there's enough light in here. You get the Thorfire TD26 itself, obviously. You'd be hoping so. If you open an empty box, be pretty angry. The Thorfire 26650 cell, 5000 milliamps. And I should also say, if I already forgot, Thorfire supplied me with this light. So check out their Amazon and their thorfiredirect.com, and I'll leave links in the description. You get the box. My box came crushed, courtesy of Australia Post. No worries there, thank you. You get the Are You Happy card. I'm pretty happy. You get the manual, Thorfire TD26 manual. So as I was saying before, I was really interrupted by my phone running out of memory. You get the lanyard. I tried to fit mine on, and I kind of couldn't really fit it, and I kind of stuffed it up. I was using a knife trying to freehand it. This light so far has had a very rough time. The lanyard is super thick, so you got to try and get it in that small hole there. You also get the charger, Thorfire charger. I tried mine, it charged it to 4.19 volts, so perfect, to 4.2 volts. They gave me an Australian adapter, or a traveller adapter I should say. And mine fortunately was opened by Australian Border Force. I wonder if I made it on TV. Well, I wasn't there, so I wouldn't be on TV. But you get what I mean. Alright, so this is the build of the light. I have to say the light is super good build quality as usual. It came with no scratches, no marks, no scuffs until I got my grubby hands on it. It was all good. And then when I stacked it, unfortunately, well, almost dropped it again. Unfortunately, that happened when I stacked it. Not much I can do about that now. It's alloy anyway, so it's not going to rust. Doesn't really matter. But, you know, it would have been good to have it looking nice. You can see the Cree XPL there. The lens isn't actually dirty. That's just how the lens is because it's so thick. So you can see the Cree XPL. You can see the reflector is kind of maybe a C8 size. I think I got a C8 in here. I'm not sure if I'm tripping, but looking at it, they look like pretty similar. So you can imagine that this light is super throwy. It doesn't appear to be AR coated glass, but you don't really need it to be anyway because you're going to be underwater. I don't know how much extra that will help. It's got the cooling fins. I think they're more for show because it doesn't get hot at all. Magnetic switch. So that's mode 1 there. Push it again. Mode 2. Mode 3. And then mode 4. And if you want to turn it off, you push and hold. And it's got memory mode, so it'll turn back on mode 4. There we go, it's on mode 4 now. And I'll show you guys what that looks like on the wall. So you can see the hotspot there, it's super tight. Even though it's Cree XPL, it's still really tight. Alright, now I just stuffed up the camera. Now we'll turn it off. And I'll just quickly show you guys the threads again and whatnot. You know what I forgot to show you is actually, it came with spare O-rings. And they are here. I always forget something, don't I? They're the spare O-rings there. I'm just more excited to like just go outside and take this light diving. And it also came with an adapter which I left in the house, so you can use a 18650 without it rattling around. That was my bad there. There's the threads and the O-ring there. So super thick O-rings. Everything is kind of like bolted down really well. So I pretty much feel like I'm ready to take this in the water. So I will compare it to a few other 1000 lumen lights and we'll see how it does. Alright guys, I've got the Thorfire TD26 outside on low mode. As you can see, even on low mode, it does a pretty good job of lighting up my backyard. It's not super wide. It is more floody, but there is a little bit of spill, of usable spill. You can see there on the shed. That's on low mode too. Basically, I think a diving light, when you're in the water, you're going to kind of be looking straight forward anyway. You're not going to be looking to the side and having the light forward. So pretty much, you're going to want to have it turning with you whenever you're moving. So basically, a throwy light is probably what you want. So this is low mode. Next, we'll go medium. So you can see it's already super bright, very neutral tint. If I show you there on the tree, you can see how neutral the tint is. We'll then go high mode. The light does not heat up one single bit when it's outside, but it is 276 grams for the battery, so you would be expecting it not to heat up. But obviously you're not going to want a chintzy 100 gram diving light for when you're going to go 100 meters down. Even if you're not going to go 100 meters, you'd still rather have the good quality light than a cheaper light. So even on high mode, I'll show you at 100 meters. You can see it there on the tree. Hopefully you guys can see it as well as I can. It does a really good job of lighting up the tree. Right, next we have high mode. This button is so smooth and easy to change. You'll have no problems changing the modes up when it's on high. And the other thing is, the high mode on this light has no step down. The only step down that you might get is from when the battery starts to wear out, but no actual step down from the light itself, because there's no need. It stays super cool even when it's out of the water. So I'll show you at 100 meters there. Now I know I can see the tree on the phone pretty good, so it does a really good job. So you know, even if you brought this light as not a diving light, just as a normal flashlight, it come in handy because it has more than enough power. It's lighting up my backyard more than easy. It's a fairly reasonable price, and you get the whole package for that price. So it's really good value, and also it's heavy as hell. So if someone tried to rob you, you could always beat them to death with it. This video is kind of like not showing you exactly all the facts, but I'll redo it again once I go diving. I'll compare it to a couple of other lights now so you can see the tint and whatnot, and see how you like it. Alright guys, we have the Thorfire TD26 to the left and standard Convoy C8 to the right. You can already see the difference in the tints. If I place them both here, you can see that the Thorfire is still a little bit wider hotspot, but you can also see the difference in the tint. The tint is much more neutral. Both about 1000 lumens, but the Thorfire is still brighter. We'll compare it to a S2 Plus and see how it does. I'm loving this no step down because I can leave this light on and it doesn't step down at all. It's freaking awesome. Alright, so the Thorfire TD26 to the left, Convoy S2 Plus to the right. Is that on highest mode? Right, that's the highest mode there. This has been modded by me to have a very neutral tint too, so these tints shouldn't be too far apart. But as I was saying before earlier on in the video, that this tint in the TD26 is pretty neutral, so you can see it there. It does a really good job of lighting everything up. Output wise, this should both be about 1000 lumens, but the TD26 appears to be brighter than the S2 Plus. Maybe because of the neutral tint in the S2 Plus, it lost a bit of power. Basically, this review is done for now. I'll take it underwater and I'll run over some more specs. I'll do like a voiceover or something, and I'll see what I can do, how much footage I can get underwater, and I'll leave a link in the description to that video too. And if you want to watch that video, just subscribe and like, and you'll get the updates soon. Alright, thanks for watching, guys.